Hello YouTube and welcome. I'm your host, Naval Aviator. We're going to do the first flight for the channel, and we're going to be flying a Cessna 172 from Anacortes, an airfield called 74 Sierra, and we're going to take it over to Friday Harbour, about 15 miles to the west of us. This is a route that I actually took with my partner, albeit on a ferry, many years ago when we went to Seattle. So we're going to do this in our Cessna 172. If we head over to the second monitor, I'm using Plan G for the flight plan, and I've already put the flight plan in, and as you can see, there we are down the bottom there at 74 Sierra Anacortes, and we're going to take off from runway 18. Zoom in a little bit more, you can see the runway. So we're going to come down to the south, and then once we clear the airfield, we'll do a left turn, take it back round over the town of Anacortes, and then back to our flight plan. We could go this way, but if we go that way, make more of a scenic route for us to look at. So we'll then head up to the northwest, and we're heading for this airfield here, Blakely Island, 38 Whiskey Alpha. When we hit that, we'll turn left, and then we'll be headed over to Wilding Farm, which is 6 Whiskey Alpha 5. And then we'll come down to Friday Harbour area and into Friday Harbour itself. I think what we'll do is I'll add the last waypoint in there. There we go. We can get our meteorological data down there. So over there we're looking at fantastic conditions, no air, no wind at all, very clear, over 10 miles visibility. We've got clouds scattered at 3,900, overcast at 700. Okay, yeah, so I'm looking to go up to about 2,000 feet today, so we'll see how that goes as the flight progresses along. We've got a beacon here, a non-directional beacon with a frequency of 284 kilohertz. We'll have that tuned in to the ADF in the aircraft, so we'll have a reference to the airfield, and we should pick that up pretty much straight away when we depart the airfield. So that shouldn't take us too long at all. So as the crow flies, it's about 15 nautical miles, give or take. So we'll just stretch it out a little bit. We'll head up northwesterly a bit and come around in a bit of an arc. So what we'll do is we'll head over to the aircraft now. And here we are now, sat in our Cessna 172. We're pretty much configured to get the engines running. We won't be bothering with checklists and that today. You want to get the aircraft started and get us up in there as quickly as possible. It's only a short flight, but certainly as we do more of these videos, they will become more instructive, and we'll go more in depth into the procedures. Certainly when we get up to the bigger aircraft that I fly, like the 737 and the 747. So this is the Coronado's Cessna 172. It's a really nice, nicely modelled aircraft. I mean, there's many different companies out there that produce these aircraft, and they're all pretty good. You know, you've got their pros and their cons, and that. This is a really good, fantastic model of the aircraft. Good detail, and that's what we're looking for, really. You know, when we fly these payware aircraft, we like the detail and the realism. Let's get back into the cockpit, okay, and we'll go down to the switch panel because we want to get the aircraft started now as quickly as we can. So I've got the beacon light is on at the moment. The batteries are off. I'll leave the beacon on because as soon as I turn the batteries on, that will start rotating and then give an indication to people around the aircraft that we are about to start the aircraft's engines imminently. Okay, So we'll put our batteries on and you should start hearing it whirring into life. And you can see the flash of the beacon reflecting in the cockpit. And there it goes. We'll put our alternator switch on. Okay. And then we'll put our mixture full rich. Crack the throttle to about a quarter of a way. Give it a prime. Give it a couple of yanks on the primer to get some fuel into the engine. And now we're looking for a good start on the engine. So we'll turn the key over. And there we go. One thing I did forget to mention was it's really important to have the parking brake set, which is down here. Otherwise we'd have lurched forward when the engine fired into life. So what we would normally do now, we'd wait for our temperatures to come up into the green as the aircraft warms. We'd throttle it up to about 1000 RPM just to start warming the engine up. Okay, we'll put our navigation lights on, put our pitot heat on. Pitot is this little sensor on the wing here, which gives us our barometric pressure and altitude readings on the gauges. Put a taxi light on. Okay, and then we'll turn our avionics on. So now our radio's coming to life. We've got 284 tuned in the ADF already, which means we should pick up that NDB pretty soon after we take off. We'll put the transponder into off. It's in 1200, which is the squawk code for VFR in the United States. Okay, and we'll head on over to the runway. So we'll put our parking brake off, put in some throttle, and then immediate turn to the right. And we'll head off now, pick up that taxiway out there. We've got a really nice long runway here. Going the wrong way. Yeah, we've got a really nice long runway here, and there's no sort of requirement to taxi all the way down to the end of the runway to pick it up. So we'll take it down to probably about a third of the way down the runway. We'll have plenty left to get airborne. It's quite overcast here, but we should be alright. And normally what would happen is we'd find ourselves a spot just before we went up to onto the runway, and we'd do a run up, make sure that all our readings are correct, that our magnetos are doing what they're supposed to be doing. But so again, we're not going to do that today. We're just going to get up in the air and get over to Friday Harbour. Okay, so we'll turn now and we'll pick up the runway here. It's going to come to a stop here. Just a couple of things that we need to do before we go out onto the runway. Normally we would get clearance and that, but we're not bothering with that today. So we'll put our landing lights on and our taxi lights off. We'll turn our transponder on now. That is now squawking our VFR code. Okay, and now we are going to take our position and hold on the runway. When you get the throttle full up on the Cessna, there's a real bite to the right, so you've got to get quite a bit of rudder in to counteract that nose going up. So do a rolling takeoff. Get established. Okay, we're looking for about 55 knots. So there's that right rudder coming in now to try and hold the centre line. Really crabbing it down there, the runway. 60 knots, up we go. We'll hold that. We'll fly the runway heading now until we're clear of the airfield. Pitching up for around about 800 feet a minute. Wind patch there, looking at 70 knots. We'll try and make 80 knots for the climb out. That's good. We're clear of the runway now, so we'll make our turn over to the left. And we're pitching about 900 feet per minute and just over 80 knots, between 85 knots climb out, which is good. We're coming up on 1,000 feet now. Looks like we might be approaching the cloud base. So I think I'll just try and hold it there for a little bit. We'll trim the aircraft now. For that, we'll come down to 500 feet a minute. Yeah, we're just touching that base now, so we don't really want to venture any higher for fear of going in the clouds, and then we won't get to see all this lovely scenery provided by ORBX. I'm using Active Sky Next for my weather engine, coupled with Rex's soft clouds. Really fantastic product. Okay, let's trim now for level flight. I'll get that. Come off on the throttle a bit. What about 2200 revs? We'll pitch up. That's it. We'll come down a little bit. Keep that turn coming on. We're now coming Anacortes down there. There's the town. Nice slow turn. That's where we'll stay for about 1300 feet. Pitch the aircraft up to a level flight. And we picked up the NDB, the gauge at the bottom right. That's showing that Friday Harbour is literally to the left of us, 270. Now all we need to do, if we wanted to fly directly, is just keep turning until that needle is pointing straight up, and then we're heading straight to the airfield. Okay, so we'll level off there, and we'll now head over to Blakely Island. bit of weather here, bouncing the aircraft about a bit. But Cessna 172 is quite a resilient aircraft. You know, it handles the rough weather quite well. So we're over Blakely Peak now, and just down there to the left you can see there's the airfield, 38 Whiskey Alpha. So we're going to start coming left now. Start heading towards the west. Let's have a look now down the, so we've got Friday Harbour is literally straight ahead of us now, so it's Plan G telling us that I've put in for 2,000 feet for the altitude, but we weren't going to get up that high without going into the clouds, so some significant weather here we're experiencing. I'm going to come to the right now so we can get on track to Blakely Farm, sorry, Widely Farm. Trim the nose down a bit. Just wanted to pop up. Settle down a bit now. Some really stunning scenery out here. So we're coming up on the farm now, which is just the other side of this inlet, I think. Okay, so what we're going to do now is NDB is now saying that the beacon is off to the left, so we're going to turn now down to the left and put that needle on the 0. What we should really be doing is changing that card to match our heading, so we've got a reference all the time. And there's the airport over there now, you can see, got it visual. So we're going to go straight in. Let's bring our throttle back. And we'll start coming down 500 feet per minute, I think. Let's get our speed down into the white arc so we can get our first notch of flaps out. Puts the nose up to get some of that speed off. Okay, so we'll put our first notch of flaps in. Start the turn in. I'd normally have a track IR on, but I couldn't be bothered with that. Stick another notch of flaps in. Get the speed down. Okay, we're coming down, we're at 1,000 feet now. Might have overshot, not quite overshot, no, that's good, there we go, we're on. We've got the pappies now, 2 white, 2 red, which means we're on the glide slope. And we've got a bit low now, let's get the power up a little bit. Let's get that power up. Another notch, flaps down. Okay, so I'm flying visual now. 60 knots, we're going to come up on the speed a little bit. Lined up with the runway now, we just need to track it in, some rudder in. Too much there. That goes up. Okay, a little bit here. Start your flaps in. Okay, so I'm going to get it down. Pappy's coming in again. Okay, so we're on the glide slope again now. 2 white, 2 red, that's good. To the right now a bit, but we're alright now, we're visual now to take it in. Down off the power. Coming down. There that nose, not too much with the power. Okay, there we are, we're down. There was a bit of a bounce. Okay. Well, we'll come off to the right. Bit of a time delay, I think, on there, as we're approaching Friday Harbour. But I think we'll find we're down, and we'll head on over to the parking. Shut down. take this left turn here. Put it over there to the right of the other light aircraft. Okay, we'll stop there, set our parking brake, okay, and we'll shut our engine off. Okay, put our nav lights off, taxi lights off. Sorry, taxi lights on, we're off anyway, landing lights off. Pitot heat, we'll turn that off, we'll leave our beacon on, and shut down our battery and our alternator. And that is it, we've arrived at Friday Harbour, so we can get out. And that was it. Okay, thanks very much folks, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again for the next video. Bye bye.